I'm going to meet Tory Lanez. And they were like, okay. I was like, no, you don't get it. Like, I'm telling you, I will find a way. I'm going to do whatever it takes to meet this motherfucker.
Chemical X.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Chemical X podcast. Woo! I wish I could do ASMR, guys. We're drinking White Claw because we're white basic bitches. This is, if you have a White Claw, then you're a basic bitch.
I also chose it to match my outfit, so I'm drinking the green one, and I gave Alessia the pink one because it matched the set.
Of course, the graphic designer is trying to match our drinks to our outfits. I mean, do we blame her?
We don't.
Exactly.
We don't. Welcome back, guys. We hope you enjoyed our last episode. If you haven't already subscribed,
if you haven't already sucked,
if you haven't already subscribed, go down below, subscribe, comment, something, like, but hit that subscribe button. We love you. We see you. XOXO Gossip Girl.
I swear to God, though, every time we post a podcast and somebody new or somebody writes us saying this helped or this was an amazing episode, I swear to God, we go from like depressed to we're the fucking shit.
Absolutely. And it's also like I kind of came used to it. So if like when we post an episode and we don't get we really like the episode, I'm like, so everybody hated it. Perfect. But I was talking with a friend and he was like, you guys are doing really good. Like, keep going. And I was like, to be honest, like, it's really hard to like wake up every day and continue doing something that's so public. Like, I'm like, people don't realize that like, I chose to like publicly like air my dirty laundry, you know what I mean? And I'm like, it's really hard to keep doing it every day. And I'm like, I would have quit a long time ago if it wasn't for people like who actually supporting and like giving like nice messages. And I know it goes against everything we talk about like fuck what people think, fuck this, but deep down we all want people to like what we do, and it's really, really hard to have people hate on you and not have people that support you. So
we can have 100 amazing comments and 2 bad ones, and like at night, what are we thinking about? And I know it's like kind of deep to say, but we're thinking of those 2 going, is that actually who we are? And then it's like we get in these like moods, and then we have to remind ourselves, no, like keep going.
Absolutely.
You know?
So just all in all to say, we're so grateful for everybody that takes the minute, second, whatever to support us, send us a message. It actually keeps us going. It actually reminds us that you guys do like our content, that you do find us funny. I mean, I think I'm hilarious no matter what, but you guys keep my ego boosted.
Validation is what gets us,
Yeah, I love it. I love a good validation. But I think it's funny how like a lot of people like to say, even us, we're like, fuck the haters, fuck this.
Yeah.
And in anything you do, like, it's so easy to watch other people and be like, oh, fuck what people think. But at the end of the day, like, we're humans, and like humans, like natural instinct is to like seek validation from other people. Like, you want to be liked. You want to be like, you want people to like you. You want people to be like impressed by what you're doing or enjoy what you're doing. So it's really hard to do something and have haters. And I've always looked up to people. I don't know if you're the same way, but I always look up to like, for example, those girls or those celebrities who like are hated on by the world and they just keep thriving. You know Bad Barbie?
No.
Bad Barbie? The girl that was like Cash Me Outside?
Okay, yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, she was like a meme. She was a joke. Everybody was making fun of her. Yeah. Everybody was making fun of her and shit like that. I can't imagine like that. Like, would you be able to handle that?
I mean, I think she went in and started with that bad bitch energy. So I think it's you know what it is though? There's also 2 types of people. There's people who take whatever's happened to them, grown from it, and used it as a way and platform to make money. And then there's people who've crushed and who've gotten so scarred from it that they kind of just let go. Like, even today, like when I think of like people in Montreal, influencers who have the same amount of followers but managed to make a whole lifestyle, a brand, made money off it. And then some people who have the same amount of followings just kind of like let it go and didn't actually do anything and are still stuck in their 9-to-5 job. Isn't that crazy to think?
It's really about like I always say it's not about, the opportunities you have, because like a perfect example, one of our guests, Andy Manaris, like,
Yes.
We had spoken about how like, oh, he inherited his company from his dad, and like people do like love to say like, oh, well, you just got it easy, you got it handed to you. But at the end of the day, it's what you decide to do with it. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, two influencers who have 1 million followers, one can make so many amazing business decisions and make it a strategy and be so planned and etc. And somebody can just throw it all down the drain and not do anything with it. So,
and which is okay also. I feel like every single person wants different things. And there was this quote that came about, and I was like, oh my God, I never really looked at it. So Veronica and I are so fixated on getting there that we're almost missing the process sometimes. Like, we're so like, we want to get there, we want to be famous. And I don't even think famous is what we want to be called. We just want more people to know about our podcast, that we're not actually sometimes being super grateful for the people we do have, which is instinct when you're trying to grow.
Also, when you put like a lot of, like, I always say like we're so fixated on getting there, but I don't even know what there is. I'm just like, I feel like,
which is kind of our problem.
Yeah, but also I just feel like when you put so much effort into something, you like really want some kind of like, you want to see it do well because you're putting so much time and energy into something.
The quote was something like, don't hate on people who want the simple life just because you don't. And I was like, good point. Because sometimes I get so fixated on where I'm trying to go that I forget that some people just don't want that. They don't want to air out their laundry. They want a simple life. They want to go to work. When they leave work, they don't want the responsibility of like having to always be working and be thinking of the business. Like, I remember when I didn't want anything at the beginning and I was literally just working a 9-to-5 job, and that was my goal, just to be in a head office. I was like, wow, it's amazing how I get to leave. I have my weekends off and I'm okay with that. And it's fine for people to not want the same things as you. And sometimes I get so fixated on trying to get that I go, oh, you don't have the same goals? And it's fine. Who cares?
You almost like look down upon somebody.
Yeah, like,
and I feel bad. I sense myself doing it. Like,
so bad.
I could sit here and act like I know everything, but I do really bad shit sometimes. And sometimes people tell me about, like, for example, I grew up in a small town, and it's like sometimes I look back on the people who are like have no like want to get outside of that, and I'm just like, how? Like, for me, who's like experienced so much more of the world, it's almost like a different language to me. Like, I can't understand it, but I have to like almost humble myself and be like, sit back, like, this person is happy. Like, not everybody has to go travel the world. Not everybody has to go.
Not everybody wants
seeking more.
Not everybody wants the same thing.
The world is so big. And I think
especially when we get together, it's like scary because we obviously feel the same way. But sometimes like my boyfriend, for example, sometimes I'll get mad at him. I'll be like, work harder, get there. And he's like, Alessia, like, I'm not a podcaster. Like, these aren't things that I want to do. And I'm like, okay, true. Like, humble myself out and be like, you're right. Like, I can't expect things from people that people don't want for themselves,
Absolutely.
So it's like, it's hard.
I think in the time that we are now, a lot of people, because so many people want that, like, influencer, that high following, this and that, like, we just expect that everybody kind of wants that, but a lot of people don't. Like, I know a lot of people that don't even have Instagram, that don't want people to follow them on Instagram. And are so much happier. Yeah, and it's just really about what works for you, and I think it's really hard to understand people. Like, probably, like, people watching this, we could have both sides. We could have people that are so ambitious and they really want to get something bigger, and then there's people that are happy in their life, and it's just like, you need to understand each other, because I think no matter how much we can be like, oh, how don't you want the good life, like the big dream, and then other people are like, oh, like, you're so superficial, you want this. I think in my experience, like, I've had a lot of experiences with people that would like make me feel really bad about like having big dreams, which sounds crazy, which only sounds crazy because
it happens all the time.
Yes. So in my experience, it's been more common. Like, I'm saying it sounds crazy just because I've surrounded myself with so many people that want the same thing as me, which is why it's so important. Right. Like, I feel like my immediate friend group, my boyfriend, like, I feel like even my sister and stuff, like, we all have this same like want for something bigger, something better, whatever it may be. But when you get out of that, like, I do face a lot of people that are like, oh, like, I've had even relationships with people that just didn't understand it, and they thought it was superficial. They thought it was like fake, and they were like, ew, like you want to be a celebrity. I was like, no, like I can't explain to you what I want. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about this. I'm just like, it didn't like the idea. If you would tell me, oh, you could be famous, I'm like, oh, so cool. But I've also had relationships with people that were like, ew, I would never want to be famous. Like that's disgusting. So
but those are also the same people watching you.
Yeah. But like,
you know what I mean? Haters are your motivators.
You know what I mean?
I'll give you an example. I started my YouTube channel, okay? I wanted to do like fashion tips. I don't know, just honestly, I didn't want to have an exact direction. I kind of wanted it to lead into what I wanted to do. Kind of what we did with this podcast too. We didn't have this set up when we started, you know? We have a clearer direction now, but we started.
Yeah.
There was this friend of mine who I love her to death. And no shame, but she was just very like, I want you to teach me how you edit and all this stuff, whatever. And I was like, sure, no problem. Like, I'm very open. Like, if people especially are on the same path as me or doing the same thing, we could learn from each other. Great, beautiful. But it's like, what bothers me is that there's so many people working hard to get there, and nothing's ever going to be perfect. There's always going to be mistakes. And I really don't like people who they kind of are angry with themselves because they want to start something and they never actually do, that they like to criticize what you have done.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I'm literally there trying to help you.
Yeah. And
you feel the need to critique my work.
Yeah.
When it's like, you've been talking about starting a page for 3 years, and where's it been?
So many people are like that,
and though. It's crazy. And it's like, I don't even take it to heart because I go, this is something you're battling with, and like, it's not actually my issue. But sometimes it hurts. It's like, fuck, like, you know?
But a lot of people, I feel like when they're hard on themselves, they tend to be like also hard on other people. So like,
and that's why
somebody's like, oh, I wouldn't start this until it's perfect. And then they start holding everybody up to that same standard. But even though when you start something, you want it to be amazing, you want it to be the best it can be, it's always going to improve as it goes along. Like, I know when we started this, it was really terrible. Well, I mean, when we started, we were like, wow, this is so good. You know what I mean? And then as we went on, we're like, oh my God, this is bad. We have to make it better. And then we have to make it better.
But it only took our past to be able to be like, to reflect and be like,
but
shit.
Like when we started, we still were like proud of what we were doing. You know what I mean? So it's like only as we grew, we refined, we did better. And I'm sure 6 months from now, a year from now, we're going to look back and say, I can't believe we fucking filmed on that green set. Or you know what I mean? Like, as you go, you refine and you get better.
So guys, for anybody who doesn't know, we have a media kit. And a media kit is basically just like all our numbers and everything we've accomplished. And every month, whenever we're sending it to somebody or trying to get a sponsorship or trying to work with somebody, we update our media kit. So the numbers and I think that was a good tale for us to be able to say, like, in a month, this is how much we improved. Because when you go day by day, sometimes you don't realize. And we're so hard on ourselves. We're like, wow, Veronica, in a month, we put 4 episodes, so much work into this, so much editing, and we saw no results. And then it's like, we actually see the results.
When you go back
and we're like, okay, and it brings us back. So I think if you're ever trying to start something, just kind of look at it in a month.
Almost write it down. Almost like when I was saying keep a journal. It's the same thing. You look back and you go, holy shit, I actually didn't realize how much we grew, how much more followers or whatever it may be that relates to you. Like, it's really nice to almost write things down. And that's our media kit is kind of our way to like see that. But I do think like people can be very hard on, like, a lot of times in the creative industries, like, there's so much competition in the sense of like, I was even talking to an artist recently, the girl who actually did my the cover, the magazine cover of me.
Okay, very nice.
Bad Like Yaz. We can link her. Shout out to her. And she was saying how like in the like artists, like within like artists, she's like, it's so crazy how like competitive it is, and like how people are always like trying to like not support another artist or like, you know what I mean? Like and it's so true, because in any creative industry, like even podcasting, graphic design, whatever it is, like there's so much like competition. Even influencers, it's like, it seems like nobody's supporting each other. Everybody's just trying to always battle each other. Everybody's always trying to keep secrets about how to grow, and nobody wants to like share and like,
it's crazy,
make people grow.
In the book The Secret, I don't know if anybody here has read it or watched the movie, but they literally say that there's enough space for everybody to do what they love and for it to be successful. Like there's not a limit of people that can work. For example, podcasting. If another person starts a podcast, we're not like, fuck, another person starting a podcast. That's one less shot for us. It's like, no, in the market we're in, perfect. Maybe this podcast that they're listening to will open their eyes into actually watching and listening to us. Like, you always have to find a way to look at it on the bright side and not like...
Even people who want to start something, they're so hard on other people. And I'm like, yo, let me see you do something better. Yeah. Like, let me see you actually just do something. Like, I love the people that say that, you know?
But walk the walk, but can you talk the talk?
Exactly.
I know.
But
it's crazy.
It's so much easier to look at other people and be like, oh, why didn't you do this way? Or why didn't you do this better? Even I probably do that. You know, you see some of your favorite influencers, your favorite celebrity, and you go, oh, I wouldn't have done that if I was her. But it's like, you don't know. Yeah. Like, nobody knows. Everybody loves to chit chat about what they would have done better in their shoes, but you're not Kim K. Yeah. Like, you're literally not.
I know.
When you are her, call her. Let me know if she would have done that.
DM her. She probably won't answer you, but you can try. Like, even in the work industry, if we talk about the work industry, for example, I also feel like there's such like jobs and bosses, they want so much from you. But then it's like, you want that Friday where you leave 30 minutes earlier. It's an issue. You know, like, I know I'm jumping a little bit everywhere, but tell me you don't agree with me in the sense where, like, sometimes in order to have an employee that wants to work and do extra hours and put in like their creative side and be passionate about what they're doing, you have to also compensate them. Like, even if it's a small company, even if it's anything, you have to make them feel like they're valuable. And like, what are you doing? Are you doing staff outings? Are you bringing them a lunch? Like, are you doing these little things to keep them happy? Because I promise you, if you're not doing that, they will literally find anything to get out of work earlier, to do less, to come into work, and they won't give their 100. They'll stop being creative. If you do not treat somebody like amazing and give them all the tools they need and to make them feel valued, they're doing shit for you. They're actually coming to work and they're sleeping. They're pretending they're working.
Absolutely. And I think it's funny because I think companies are getting better at that because everybody loved I remember there was like a phase, I want to say like maybe just when I was getting out of high school, there was like this whole thing of like millennials have the worst work ethic. They want too much for like their no experience. But so disagree. Over time, I've realized how companies have adapted. And I totally agree with what millennials have put into place. Because our parents' generation, they were very like, okay, benefits. They were like, they just wanted the good benefits and then they'll work like a dog for 20 years. But our generation came in and we were like, no. Like, I want to have my freedom. I want to be able to have like flexible hours. I want to be able to have all these things that our parents' generation never really wanted. And I do see a lot of companies adapting, which is amazing. But the ones that aren't realizing...
They're suffering.
The ones that aren't realizing that employees' happiness is actually
the key
way more important. Like, I would say on like the list of things, having happy employees is number one. Yeah. It's number one. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you own a company, okay? You need your employees more than they need you. Yeah. That's just what it is. Because you can't get anything done without them. They're obviously there for a reason. Yeah. So if you don't keep them happy and you don't make them feel like they're valued, whatever it may be, guys, I'm not even talking about money-wise. Like, little things to make them feel valued, to make them feel appreciated. If you do that, they're gonna give you their best work. Yeah. And that's why the companies that are like amazing, like look at all these top companies to work for. Guys, Google, all those top companies, if you look at what they do to have like a good employee thing, it's always like they have, you know, nap rooms, they have flexible hours, you could work from home, you're trusted by your employees, this and that. And probably the Google employees, because they feel so like, wow, you're allowing me to do this, I'm gonna work 10 times harder.
Yeah, if I go home and I get an email, I'm not ignoring it because it's like, fuck that company. Like, I'm not on my working hours, but it's like, love them, they're a family. You are going to work 10 times harder. And I think more companies, if any companies are listening to this, we live in a generation where we want freedom, we want to be valued, we want all of these things.
And I think like it's very important. Like a even small example would be like, I used to work for a club, and you would think like, oh, club life, it's usually like shitty managers, this and that. but we still had like, even though we had staff outings, was for marketing and this and that purposes, you know what I mean? Like we had to promote the club, but like going out all together on like not a work basis, or like we always had these like meetings before work where like they would like give us tips or like hype us up, and like we all like, we had like a really good culture like within employees. Like we had, it was very like, I knew that like I felt good working hard for them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's really important. And even in a job, like I wasn't working at Google. It's just like, they made me feel so valued. Like when I was doing well, they were not afraid to say, oh my God, you did so good this day.
They
you
noticed.
did a lot of, you know what I mean? Like it really makes you feel like, oh, I can't wait to impress them again. You know what I mean?
For example, my dad, he works super hard, does well for himself, but sometimes when I tell him like my plans and my goals, he's really like, he doesn't understand, because he's like, Alessia, you have to work really hard. And I'm like, just because I'm not breaking a tile doesn't mean I'm not working hard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
I think dads or like parents have a really hard time seeing like our type of work. Like for example, like my dad is one of the people who, like I was saying before, doesn't understand that big dream. Like for example, like when I went to Australia, he was like, but why do you have to leave? Like, you don't like it here. Like, what? You're just going to leave me? Like, what's everybody going to do? Now you're never going to come home. And I was like, how? I was like, wait, like,
how did this become about you?
You know what I mean, though? Like, I was just like, wait, like, wouldn't you want to leave if you had the chance? Like, I always forget that people might want to stay. And I often have that conversation with my dad. Like, he'll always be like, well, what are you doing? Like, what are you gonna, like, where are you gonna go with this? And I'm just like, I can't even explain it to you because you don't get it. You know what I mean? He really doesn't get it. I
get in so many fights with my parents because they just don't get it. And I think that's why it's nice that it's really important that you surround yourself with people, especially in your generation, that understand you, you know, because sometimes it's okay to accept like, I've accepted the fact that like my dad will never understand, you know. The second I was able to understand and accept, I can't explain it. I found within myself there was so much more like of a peace, because I'm like, sometimes people just don't have to understand.
Absolutely. I really have to. It's funny you say that, because I really agree, because my dad is really somebody like my whole life. Like I started working when I was like, my first job I was 14, and because looking back now, you kind of be like, okay, this is because of this reason, and like you see how your parents are and you're like, holy shit. It's funny how your life is impacted from being raised. So I look back and I started working at 14. I've always been like a workaholic. Like I've always had like, there's times I've had 3 jobs. I've always had 2 jobs. Like I've always been somebody, I've been working. If I wasn't working on something that day, I was like, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. And I realized that I'm like that because of my dad. And there was like periods where I wouldn't have a job, and he would be like, well, what are you doing? Like, aren't you looking for a job? Like, even now he'll be like, well, aren't you looking for a job? And I'm like, I have a job. And he's like, yeah, but doing what? Like, for my dad, if I don't have 6 jobs, if I'm not constantly working, like any day I have a day off, he's like, well, what are you doing? You're not working? And I'm like, no, I work literally 70 hours a week. Like, and it really, at a time, it really bothered me. Like I used to get so angry. I used to be like, I don't get it. Like I'm working 2 jobs. Like, how is that not enough for you? Like, and he's like, yeah, but you're not really doing anything. You're not like working a real job. Like, that's what my dad loved to say. It was like, it wasn't a real job because I was working in the club, or because he didn't understand what it was. Like, even now, he thinks I work at a store. I'm like, Daddy, I work at the head office of the store. Like, fuck, man. But like, he really, like, for him, it wasn't a real job. But once I like finally got past the point of like having to prove to him that I'm working, like I started realizing like, okay, now I'm just doing this to like I'm putting so much on my plate because I have to prove that I'm working hard almost. But then I just kind of like accepted, like, okay, no matter what I do, clearly, like, he's not going to get it.
So might as well do something
I'm just going to do what I like. I'm just going to do what I want and not take it to heart, like, the way he pushes me. And it's because he's like that on himself. Like, my dad works 7 days a week. Yeah. My dad works literally, I call him on a Sunday morning, 7 a.m., he's working on a project. Right. So I'm like, I can't even blame him. Yeah. It's what you project.
He was raised to... But I also think there's like a fine line and a nice balance between work and play. Mm-hmm. I think if you're always working and you don't find the time to also enjoy life, that's when it gets really difficult. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you have to also be able to see your friends, get out there. It helps you be creative. It helps you really, even just going for a walk or a run. Guys, I've really like felt like for me, when I went for a walk, I've really cleared my head and things became a lot clearer. So I'm not saying go for a walk or run, but like
go for a walk or run.
Yeah.
I actually have a funny story. So not this week, I don't remember what it was, but recently my dad calls me up, since we're on the topic of my dad. My dad, by the way, he still doesn't get what a podcast is. Just so you know, like, just so you have the gist of, he says your show. Like, you're going to talk about this on your show.
I guess
and I'm like,
it's
yeah,
a show.
Daddy, it's a show. Just don't listen. So he calls me up the other day and he's like, I have a proposition for you. I'm like, here we go. Why don't you get your construction license and become a general contractor and work for me? I said, Daddy, I literally, like, I can't even explain how much I don't want to do that. He's going, don't worry, building, it's easy. You're going to learn it in 2 seconds. I said, Daddy, I promise you, I'm walking on that site and I'm telling one person to do one thing and they're saying, who are you? Who do you think you are that you're going to tell me how to do this? Like, anyways, he had this whole phone call convincing me to be a general contractor, and he almost convinced me in the end, though. I went, oh, sounds a little bit like an art director. It's practically the same job. But yeah, I was like, he's like, then what am I gonna do when I'm older? Who's gonna take over the company? And I was like, Daddy, I'm so sorry, but for the daughters you got. Like, I know you really wanted like
a son.
I know you really wanted a son and you got us. And I know, like, even with us, like, I was like, but Daddy, Tanya was going to be an engineer. He's like, keyword was. I said, you almost, like, with her, you almost got something. You lost me when I signed up for fashion school. You lost me at the beginning. Like, don't even come and look at me. And I said, babe, Daddy, I could give you my boyfriend, but he wants to be an actor. So I don't know how much Dad's doing either. I said, well,
I don't know what's worse,
figure
the
it out
fact
with my
that you
sister.
said babe when you were talking to your dad.
Did I ever say this story about...
You called your dad babe?
I called my boyfriend Daddy in front of my dad.
I've called my boyfriend Daddy before.
No, at the table at Christmas. I literally said Daddy, and then after I meant babe, and the whole table was like, no. Oh, okay, wait. So it was Christmas. We're like 25 people deep, because that's apparently small family gatherings when you're an Italian family.
Should you let everybody know that it was before COVID, before anyone harassed you?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. Literally. And across the table, like the whole table heard me. I'm looking at my boyfriend, but I yell, I don't remember what it was. Anyways, I yell Daddy to my boyfriend. My dad turns around. I'm staring at my boyfriend. Everybody else turns around to see me staring at my boyfriend, calling him Daddy. And then I was like, I meant Daddy. And then it was very...
But the fact that your boyfriend looked at you, it's like, hold on a second.
We all should have just left the table.
Why is he saying Daddy?
I was like, April Fools.
Guys, I modeled for the first time this week.
So, are you updating your bio to model?
Definitely not. And I'll tell you exactly why I'm not updating it. It's not for my looks. That's not the prime reason why I'm not. Guys, I got the bathing suits on the set. There was a couple of girls and they decided to give me the bathing suits.
So they think you have a nice body.
I mean, you said it. I did it.
Also, modeling bathing suits though is
very
scary.
Like, I don't have the modeling expertise to be doing the bathing suits.
It's like, throw me in a cute outfit, okay, but like once I'm skin out, like,
you know what I mean?
It's very like, you should have called me 3 months ago.
And it's like, also like, thank God you told me, or else I would have came with no tan. I wouldn't have shaved my vagina. Like, you know what I mean?
They would have been saying,
they would have said,
actually, we'll put you in the outfit.
Yeah, we'll put you in the fucking leggings, because even the shorts aren't gonna work. Kidding. So I mowed the lawn. So I get there and whatever. So I'm shooting this bathing suit, and the photographer is shooting me in this red bathing suit. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, if not, Alediandra is my Instagram. So he's shooting me in this red bathing suit, and the bathing suit on one side, like my left tit is always coming out, like under boob. Okay. So it comes out once, and like the photographer's taking it, obviously is like, I want to get the shot proper for this company. So he goes, oh, like your side boob is out, like, do you mind fixing it? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Happens again 2 seconds later. I'm like, yeah, no problem, fix it. But the 6th time he goes, there must be something wrong with this bathing suit, because like there must be something wrong with this prototype, because it's only happening on one side of the bathing suit. And I'm like, who is going to tell him? Who's going to tell him that I have one boob that's bigger than the other? Because it's not going to be me, and it's not going to be today. So we keep rolling. And that was the day I realized that my modeling career is ending this day. No, but it's like normal. Like, do normal girls have one boob bigger than the other? Because I hear so many stories where I'm like, hey, I feel normal.
So I remember once we were talking about this all around the table, and I was like, like, I never noticeably, like, everybody was like, oh yeah, I do have one bigger than the other. And I was like, like, I never noticeably was able to tell if I had one bigger than the other. Right. But I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm actually saying that my tits are small, because the bigger they are, the more you see the difference. Right. It's a bit like when I got my nose job. I said, it's a bit crooked. Like, are we going to fix that? He said, yeah, but don't worry. When you have a small nose, you're going to notice less that it's crooked. I said, okay. So it applies the same to the tits. Well,
that's the thing. So it's like I have one boob bigger than the other. I'm talking like one cup bigger than the other. Okay.
No, you don't.
Yes, trust me. Yes.
So do you say you're the bigger cup, or do you say you're the smaller cup?
Definitely say the bigger. Absolutely. Always aim for higher, baby. Don't ever shine me lower.
Always round up.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's when I realized that if I want to continue in the modeling career, that bathing suits is not going to be my forte.
Off the list.
Basically. Anyways, modeling is very... Also, we had a makeup artist, and I had anxiety because I'm not really somebody who models. And also, I've had really bad experiences getting my makeup done. Not to say there's not amazing makeup artists out there, but like, especially when somebody's paying you, you don't have a say. If you're doing freelance where you're modeling, you could be like, take that picture down, I don't like it. Yeah. But when you're getting paid, your mouth is shut.
You signed the paper.
You signed the paper saying if you don't like your makeup, you smile even brighter. If you don't like the pictures, you smile even brighter. So that's exactly what happened.
Honestly, can we talk about a second, like, how models are first of all, the modeling industry is fucked up. That's one. Yeah. But I also want to talk about how, if we're talking about jobs here, like, models are like so... You keep putting your sock really close to my drink.
I know. I'm sorry.
So
my leg's having a cramp.
Like always. She always comes on my side. Like, you paid for that side.
I'm glad you're
We split the couch in... When we did the price, we split it in half. We didn't do 60-40. So my 50% ends here, ma'am.
Well, I'm glad you're in leggings, shorts, whatever you want to call it. I'm glad you're tackling the football team.
I'm in a football outfit. What do you mean?
Yes. But
I'm about to play flag football.
Yeah, I don't know. But like, my leg's cramping, and I'm also in jeans. So like, spare me the 60-40.
As always, we have our lovely sponsor, Neonific, and you can get a custom neon sign for 10% off, plus free shipping. So use our discount code ChemicalX when you check out of Neonific and get 10% off plus free shipping.
Guys, summer's on the way, and if you're a girl or a guy who likes body chains, body jewelry, waist chains, then you need to buy body strands, because I mean, like, what makes a bathing suit nice? Body chains. What makes jeans nice? Body chains. What makes Veronica's ass stand out? Man. Body chains. So I'm giving you guys a promo code ChemicalX at checkout for... I guess you'll just have to put in the discount code to see your discount.
Ooh, fun. But the modeling industry is very, like, people think it's, like, not a real job. Yeah. Like, people love to hate on models. It's so easy. It's a lot of work. And I can tell you... Because I've been, as an art director, I've been on so many shoots with models, and like, as an art director, I'm not even posed. I don't even have my makeup done, and I'm exhausted at the end of the shoot. Yeah, I can't even imagine, like,
holding your stomach and your back with your heels. It's very hard. Like, it puts a lot of pressure on your stomach. Like, and then you're hurting at the end.
No, like, it's actually physically
and really I did it for what, 2 hours?
I'm telling you, modeling is really hard work. And I hate people that are like, oh, wow, I feel so bad for her. She had to model a bikini in -20. Shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sorry, but it's actually hard work. Yeah. You stand on your feet for 10 hours a day. You don't get a break to eat because whatever. You don't even want to eat because you want to still look thin. Yeah. And you have to look there amazing when you're 10 hours deep, trying to make your makeup look nice, trying to pose, trying to look your best. And you're going to do that 3 times a week, 4 times a week. That's fucking hard work. Yeah. Like, even behind the scenes, it's hard work. And I can't imagine being in front where you have to actually look amazing even though you're tired.
And also another thing I learned about the model industry is, like, if you're doing, like, a side job where you're getting cash on the side, amazing. But, like, if most models who are, like, professional, they have an agency. And when you go through agencies, they don't always, not all agencies are credible. And, like, sometimes they don't pay you right away. And it's not like you're getting paid per month or you go, wow, they're getting paid $300 an hour, but guys, when do they see that money? Like, that's another thing. I've literally watched it happen with my companies, and like when we were hiring, it's like they don't all get their money, and it's like then they take a percentage, they end up saying that they got more, so they get less, and then it's like literally 6 months in and they haven't seen their money because they say the client didn't pay yet. There's so much shit that happens, and I'm like, to be honest, the modeling industry is not what people think.
It's not glamorous at all. And I think, like, especially in New York, I don't know if you've heard any stories of, like, the model houses, like, where basically, like, they'll let you live for free, but they take a cut off of all of your jobs. That's crazy. And also, you have to go out every single night of the week to a party to, like, promote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's actually
fucked up. Or to
up.
be like in group settings where they're having guys there because they need girls to fill the room.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
it's fucked
it's
up.
actually fucked up. But it's just to say, like, that's a prime example of, like, people who look down upon a job and, like, oh, it's so easy, it's so this. Okay, so do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to see you do it. Like, I have no respect for people that... And I actually feel so strongly about this. That are doing nothing
and they're literally critiquing.
It goes back to, like, what we were saying before. Like, I have no respect for somebody that can look down upon you and is not doing something better.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll always say, like, I'm so open to criticism. Just, if your opinion is wrong, don't give it to me.
Yeah.
But like,
which it always is.
I'm open to criticism, and, like, I would love, but in a way, I'm like, if I can value that you know more than me and you are, like, credible,
I will take the criticism.
Yes. Like, I'm very picky about, like, who gives me criticism. Like, when it's somebody who doesn't know anything about what I'm doing and tries to tell me, like, oh, like, you should, I'm like,
what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, what do you know, though? Like, why should I listen to you? And who do you think you are, like, coming and telling me that I'm doing something wrong? Yeah. You know, like, I will gladly listen to the people that know better than me because I do know people know better than me. But if you know less than me, let me do my shit.
I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I was like, wow, like, our podcast is so much more than we think. I'm like, we're actually graphic designers, videographers,
producers,
editors.
You should see my CV. My list on Chemical X is... People say, can you do this? Yep, I do it at the Chemical X podcast.
Oh my God.
You know, it's like when they say, like, I was seeing this meme where it's like, they're sending the email, like, they're a small business and they're sending the email and they're like, we appreciate your support so much. And she's like, but it's just me. Like, who's the we? That's literally us. Like, us and our team appreciate your support so much. The team. But, yeah, no, I think, like, fuck people who try to bring other people down when they're not doing stuff. You know what I mean? And I think it just shows your own insecurities. And I don't respect people. That's what my point that I wanted to mention is I really don't respect people that complain about their lives and are like, oh, I want to be this, but you know, I didn't come from a rich family, or I didn't get the opportunity to go to school, or like that. I'm not in the right city. I'm like, so move. So get a job. So get 2 jobs. So get 3 jobs. Yeah. So apply for a scholarship. Like, I am the last person you could throw an excuse at me. Yeah. Like, I will literally be like, so work harder. Yeah. Like, if you really want something, you need to be like...
Should we take our own advice?
We should.
Okay.
So I always tell my boyfriend this because he wants, like, he's an aspiring actor, and acting is, like, probably one of the hardest industries to get in. And I'm always, like, saying, like...
How does it work when you're fighting with your boyfriend right now, but now you're bringing him up?
I don't make eye contact. So I always say, like, there's always, like, no matter what you're gonna do, there's always gonna be somebody that's willing to work harder than you. So just remember that. And I know that it sounds mean, but it's like, you have to be willing to do everything, anything, because there's always gonna be somebody that's willing to do more. I will flash my tits right now
if we can get famous.
Honestly, I'll flash a bit of a puss. But, like, you have to remember that, like, if you're not willing to do everything for what you want, then you don't really want it.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be somebody that's going to want it more. And I know it sounds manipulative as fuck and like somebody's going to want, it sounds very Devil Wears Prada. A million girls would kill for this position. But it is what it is. Like,
it is what it is.
What it is. You got to work hard, yo. If you want something, your biggest limit is yourself. So if
is that how you felt when you were going on stage at the Tory Lanez concert? Did you want it bad enough to get on stage? How did that work? You manifest? Did you?
Yeah.
Tell us the story. Let's go.
So, guys, if you don't know, there is an my life infamous moment. Hasn't been topped yet, but I'm working on it. I'm manifesting.
But would you say that this is the biggest peak in your career?
The biggest peak in my career thus far.
Your dad would be so proud.
Thank God he doesn't listen to my show. So, if I had a Wikipedia page, the first thing would be known for dancing on stage at a Tory Lanez concert. Woo! Which is like, I'm okay with it.
I think it's crazy that we're best friends, and then when all that happened and you were on stage, I was on vacation or something. I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I got back and I was like, wait, what? Like, literally all of Montreal knew this. Every single person actually knew this.
Honestly, I didn't think about it as I was doing it.
It's crazy to think the person closest to you can also be your worst enemy.
Keep your enemies close. So, guys, if you don't know, there was a concert 3 years ago now. What the fuck? I need to find a better infamous moment now.
Wait, I have to ask you, did you find Tory Lanez hot at this point?
He was the love of my life.
Really?
Well, like,
so you manifested.
I'm telling you. So let me tell you the fucking story. So, I was like I am a huge fan of Tory Lanez. Like, I love his music. He's my favorite artist. Blah, blah, blah. He was coming to Montreal and I was like beyond excited.
Wait, when did you find out he was coming?
Like a month before. And I bought as soon as I found out he was coming, I bought my tickets. And you know me, in past episodes, I said, I
figure it out.
I figure my way out. This was not one of those I was willing to figure out. I said, I'm planning. There is no way I'm letting this shit get sold out. So I bought my tickets. I was like ready to go. I had my sister on lock to come with me. And from the day I found out he was coming, I was like, I need to meet. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to meet this motherfucker. Like, I don't care. And I was talking about it for weeks. Like, you can ask everybody. Like, I was really like, guys, you don't understand. I'm going to meet him. Like, I'm going to meet Tory Lanez. And they were like, okay. I was like, no, you don't get it. Like, I'm telling you, I will find a way.
We love that kind of energy.
I will find a way. So I spoke it into existence. So I got there and I was, from the minute I woke up, I was like, what can I do? How can I dress to help me get just a little closer?
What, you're like every girl in the audience saying, he looked at me. When he looked in the stage, he was looking at me. Like, I could tell you, like, I'm telling you, he was staring at me. He wanted me.
Can we pause the story for a second? Do you remember when we used to be like fangirls of like Justin Bieber or whatever? And you used to go to the concert, think you're so hot. Like, he would ever look at you. Like, he would ever. If I could.
Well, okay, wait, hold on. Justin Bieber also made it very like realistic when he brought one girl on stage and sang the song One Less Lonely Girl. So it's like, yeah, you're fucking going there. You're gonna go in your best outfit because you think you're the chosen one.
But really, you're 13 and you have braces and nobody wants you.
And you're all the way at the top because you couldn't afford the $700 ticket. You bought binoculars at the concert.
You were there, but were you really?
Not really. You were watching on the screen.
So basically, guys, from the minute I woke up, I did everything possible to like
What did you do? You put braids in your hair?
I wore my smallest bikini ever. So we get there, whatever. I'm like, as the day's going on, I'm like, I have not successfully did my plan yet. Like, time's ticking. Like, you know what I mean? You're on the clock here. Like, I was suddenly our table got moved to the back. I'm like, I can't be here. I need to be as close. Like, I need to be in VIP. Right. Like, throw me somewhere.
Did you buy the basic tickets?
I just bought a basic tickets, but we came with friends. They got a table. Suddenly, we're at the back of the club. It was very, like, I was trying to swim to get to the front.
But wait, it was an outdoor, like, party.
Yeah, it was in
the summer.
Yeah, it was an outdoor.
Was everybody in bathing suits or just you?
It was an outdoor party. It was like
all the people who thought they were going to meet him wore bathing suits.
Wore bathing suits, exactly.
Okay, perfect.
So
that limits it.
You know.
So you're already like in the B category now.
I'm narrowed down, essentially. So I'm in your modeling category.
Like A category would be like the people who spent $800 for the VIP. You're in B as in like girls in bathing suits. Like,
yeah, so like
might fuck him.
Might. I'm a little closer.
Okay.
So So basically, somehow I weasel my way. My sister, she's very like
she's great
handy
for that.
She's very handy for
she's
these
great
things.
for that.
Somehow there's an extra VIP bracelet gets slapped on my wrist. I'm up in VIP, and then
where's
I'm
VIP located from like the stage?
Like right beside.
Okay.
But like above the stage.
But is he looking at VIP or he's looking
not
at
on
the
stage yet? So like I'm in VIP. I'm working, guys. This is a business.
Okay, wait. I have to ask you. At this point on, when you were this close, were you like, I'm manifesting what I did you already know that you would go on stage? Like, did you feel it? I need to understand your manifestation.
I think
because we all need tips.
I think I had lost hope, but I was still like so into it that I was like, I'm not like I spoke so. I think I'm not gonna say I didn't believe in manifestation, but a part of me was like, I already told everybody that I'm gonna meet him. So now if I have to go back to work on Monday and say I didn't, that's not gonna happen. So I was like,
it's more embarrassing.
I was competing with myself at this point. I was just trying to reach the standards I set myself. So so basically I get into VIP, and then there's like another like the master booth that's the closest one to the stage. So it was really in C. It was basically Super Mario Bros trying to get through the levels, and Bowser was the last level.
Were you wearing this outfit to tackle the football team?
So anyways, guys, I end up somehow getting into my sister, and embarrassing. I don't even care at this point. I was just so into my goal. My sister really loves Tory Lanez. Like, can you let her into your booth? And I'm going, I love Tory Lanez. Let me in. They let me in. I said bikini, whatever. So finally I get there. He's on stage. I'm living my best life.
Now you're in the top VIP stage.
I'm like as close as you can get without being on stage.
Has he looked at you at this point?
He does not know I exist at this point.
Okay, perfect.
So,
but at least now you go to work and you could at least say you were this close.
But I have to say, like, I was expecting, like, for me, I was like, my chance is when he's off stage, because I want to meet him. Like, I was like expecting him to maybe walk through the back or something. That was what I was getting ready for. So anyways, at this point, I'm enjoying the concert. I'm living my best life. So then he says, okay, for the next song, we're going to have a twerk competition. And I said,
you said twerk? How did you
did he just say my
middle name? Literally, why did you say middle? Your first name. Your name last. Actually goes Twerk Veronica Twerk Rossi.
And I was in my prime, like, party girl stage. Like, you could have put me anywhere, I would have done it. Like, now I look back and I'm like, I don't think I would have done that now. But I was living my best life. I freshly came back from Australia. I forgot that people knew who I was. Like, I just thought I was some random chick, that I could just jump on stage in another country and nobody knew, So I'm like, twerk competition. He starts picking girls on stage. I'm like,
he's choosing or his manager's choosing?
I don't really remember. Like, girls were they were choosing. Okay. They were bringing the girls up, and there was only like about 7 girls.
But you have to like almost twerk to show
like, how do you prove?
How do you show your CV through?
Like, how do I show like, hello, I'm master twerker? Anyways, so we're yelling, but we're behind the stage, so I'm almost like, wait, I kind of fucked myself up from being here. So we're screaming. Finally, the security guard turns around, and my sister's going, pick her, and he looks at me and he sees literally a small white chick and goes,
prosciutto top.
He literally said, but can she twerk? And I had to say, yeah. Like, now I went, okay, now I really like, he's taking a chance on me. Like, it was almost an internship that I got. Like, he said, but can she twerk? Because doesn't look like it. And I went, no, I swear, please. I swear I can. I swear.
Oh my God.
I had to deal with I was like selling myself, and I'm so bad at selling myself. But I sold myself, and then he says, the twerk competition already started, by the way, and I'm still there trying to bargain with the security guard to let me have a chance. And then he goes, okay, come. Picks me up, guys, because I'm on the second level, grabs me from on top. Like, people are lifting me down.
Your tits are showing at this point because you're in a bathing suit.
I didn't even give a fuck. It was I was getting lifted down. The security guard's bringing me down.
Does this like almost make you famous? Like, how does that
work? Was almost like the Jonas Brother concert when he comes up in the circle, okay? But I was going downward. A little less elegant. So anyways, I get on stage, and then I go, wait, I need to take my pants off. I'm on the side, guys, taking off my sneakers, taking my pants down.
Hold on. So is everybody just in their bathing suit on stage? Or
People are dressed, people are in their bikinis, some people are in shorts.
You just figured to give your best experience in a twerk competition?
I said if I'm twerking for Tory Lanez, I'm doing it with no pants.
Wow.
Absolutely. And I was also in the smallest bikini, which I didn't think about at that point. Anyways, guys.
You dress saying maybe I'll see Tory Lanez, but you didn't actually think.
Anyway, I didn't plan to take my pants off. That's for sure. That's for sure. This was the bathing suit I wore. I would be very embarrassed, like when I would go out, and I would always keep because it was so small. Shorts, but suddenly in front of, a million, 10,000 people, I said, pantalones. Key. So anyways.
So you take them off.
I took them off quickly. So I get on stage, start dancing. Suddenly he starts eliminating girls. Little do I know, guys, I'm living my best life on stage, and I
need to ask you, were you stressing when they were moving people? Were you like, oh my God?
I was having the biggest adrenaline rush of my entire life.
Okay, I figured.
I can't even replace, re-say what the feeling was. Anyways, people start leaving, and I'm like, he better not kick me off. Wow. I just had to convince the security. If anything, I was doing it for the security guard, because I had to prove to him that I could really twerk.
How many people are on stage at this point?
Okay, so he starts eliminating people. I think we started with 13, and then we went down. Went down. Suddenly, I look around, we're 3 girls left, and that was very I'm
just worried about your not having shoes on, your dirty feet.
No, I had shoes on. I put my shoes back on.
Oh, okay.
Don't get me wrong.
My God.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the security guard didn't go, never mind, this girl's taking too much fucking time.
He almost. But I said, I'm not doing this in cargo pants.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then we get to the point where it has to start going everybody cheer for her if you want her to stay on stage. And I'm like, okay, better fucking cheer for me.
Oh my God, you were literally
it was
rated?
Very scary. Yeah, it was. I was like, I didn't sign up to be rated from all of Montreal.
Oh my God, I didn't know this.
Thankfully, they cheered for me because I was twerking my life away. And then,
you worked out for a month.
So it ended up being me and another girl, and then we won, and it was amazing. So
okay, wait, did they take off the last girl, and it was just you on stage?
It was me and another girl left. We just we're the winners, whatever. And I was
but you were the real winner.
How do you feel? How do you tell people, hi, I won a Tory Lanez TWERK contest?
Well, you put it in your CV along with all your stuff.
Absolutely. Have a podcast, won a Tory Lanez TWERK competition.
Yeah.
I think it's right on. I think it's actually above.
No, I think it's Veronica won a twerk competition, Rossi /twerk /twerk.
Anyways, so needless to say, when I went back to work on Monday, I was I lived up to my goal, but how do I explain to everybody that not only did I meet him, I actually twerked on stage half naked.
Wow.
And you probably saw the video.
And people were sending you message saying, that's the girl who was twerking on stage.
For even up until the beginning of COVID, I would be at work in the club and people would be like, oh my God, are you the girl in the purple bikini? And I was like,
oh my God.
I didn't know this moment would follow me this long.
Oh my God,
it's one of those things where it's so exciting and fun, but you are not thinking of the consequences in the moment.
Right.
Not that there was consequences, but
yeah.
I'm a very as much as I'm outgoing and I'm crazy and I'll do shit like that, I also don't really like when people talk too much about me, and when people know me and start talking about me.
Well, for somebody who didn't like that, definitely got on stage, no problem.
I know.
You were under the influence.
Like I said, recently got back from Australia. I was a whole different chick.
Okay, wait. So you go to the club after, and now he remembers you, right?
Mm-hmm. We were just at an after party, and I think that's where you kind of I lived my best moment, I would say, was being on stage. That's the rush I was looking for. It was crazy amazing.
It was more than meeting Tory Lanez. It was you almost became famous.
And this I didn't need Tory Lanez there. I was winning. I almost took the mic and said,
was he coming and dancing with you?
Yeah, we were dancing together. But the thing is, so what I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, really behind the crowd, and when we were chilling, I was just okay, at the I feel we hold this standard up to celebrities and everybody as oh, they're as if you got to speak to him, suddenly you're famous. It's you're not, you know what I mean? And I think
you're still doing this podcast and you're still hustling,
where did I get now? So I just think it's I really realized that when I was there, I was just okay, well, the peak of my day was really dancing on stage. I kind of don't need to meet you now, you know? So I think it's really interesting. You a lot of people even they have think of,
it's almost you went on stage for yourself.
Yeah, but I said, it was I wanted to do it as almost a bucket list thing. I just wanted to
put on your CV, we explained.
To put on my CV, exactly.
But I think what really makes it you really did this for yourself is when he recognized you at the club and told you to come in the booth because he remembered you as the girl in the purple bikini, and you at this point you didn't even care.
I was very yeah, I'm Tory Lanez. Who are you?
Yeah. And like when he asked for your number, it was very like,
yeah, at the end of the day, like he asked for my number and like I'm so dumb. Like I'm literally the dumbest, guys. If you want to take advice from anyone, don't take advice from me.
Well, this is how you know you're not a clout chaser.
Crush, yeah, my celebrity crush asks for my number and I give him my number and I just say here and I give him the phone back. I don't even think maybe text myself, maybe
get his number.
I just say here's my number because I'm the celebrity here. Like, who do I think I am?
But why does that happen a lot of times with people who almost want to act so chill about it? Mm-hmm. They're really freaking out on the inside, but they have to play it so cool. And I've done it. I've literally done it. I was at
but it wasn't even that moment. Like, I think I was already over the whole, like, absolutely, I'm the biggest person to act like I'm too cool for the celebrity, which is actually, you're honestly more of a loser than to say, give me your autograph. Like, the appeal to celebrities is just, like, that they're so well known and that they have, like, this whole vibe where when you really meet them, they're not the person that they're perceived to be or,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, perfect example, it's like, there's all these rumors right now about Justin Bieber and Hailey and he's abusive to Hailey and he's so bad to her and this and that. I'm like, I could promise you, you will meet these people in person and they will be nothing of what you think they are. Everybody thinks, oh, Justin Bieber, love of my life, I would date him in a second. It's like, okay, but really meet him, really get to know him, and he's probably not at all the person you think he is.
Yeah.
So I think that's funny when you actually get an opportunity to like meet somebody who's so in the public eye and you're like, wow, you're so not. I just think it's crazy, like, the way people can perceive like celebrities and stuff like that and how it changed, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many celebrities that have, like, this whole bad light to them for no reason. And they're like, how do you prove it to the world, you know? Like, how do you...
Yeah.
It's very hard. And I think, like, what even made me more realize that is, like, even me, like, I'm not a crazy celebrity girl, but I had my phase of, like, loving Tory Lanez. And then it's, like, I had this whole, like, build-up idea of what it was going to be like. Right. And the funnest part for me was just being on stage and dancing. And that was, like, the high. But really, like, getting to know him, like, nothing against... You know what I mean? It's just like, I was like, oh, you're just a regular guy.
Yeah.
Like, which is not an insult. It's just like, everybody puts up this whole, like, as if it's going to be something so amazing. Yeah. But at the end of the day, everybody's nothing human. More than anybody else. Like,
I know it sounds fucked up, but I've really been thinking about this lately and I just want to share. I think it's so crazy how eventually we're all going to die. Like, okay, I know this is really deep and like I'm going really like dark right now, but like I think about this all the time. I go, wow, like the things I think are so important right now and the things I stress about it, like at some point...
I'm glad you somehow related it to a subject. I went, how do we go to death?
No, but at some point, what we're so fixated is not even gonna matter. Like at some point, like we're only left with the memories. We are eventually all gonna grow older. We're all gonna... literally we're all the same at the end of the day. And I think it's so crazy how people get so fixated on this idea of fame and clout and we forget that they're human. And I think a lot of people with all kinds of bullying that's going on and stuff need to remember, like, literally they have a heart, they have 2 legs, they have arms, they're fucking normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's crazy. Insane. I think the amount of like bullying that goes on the internet now is like more than ever. And it's so, like, I think the thing about people is they think that because they're so loved, they're like, oh, what's my hate? Like, people want to get a reaction out of somebody, so they try to...
they're not even going to see my comment.
Exactly.
Like, or they almost look at them like characters where it's like they're not actually human.
Like, you could just judge them because they're a character. But
I think it's so fucked up.
It's fucked up. And I think that these people are actually probably seeing your comments and are probably being hurt by them because it's insane.
Yeah. Like, I'll give you an example, okay? I don't know if anybody here has watched Selling Sunset, but I was talking with one of my friends, and you know how Christine in the season, Christine, the one who's portrayed as like the devil and the bitch. People need to know it's a reality show. Mm-hmm. She's trying to make it sell. She's trying to get an extra season on Netflix. Like, you don't actually know what her personality is, and you can't judge her. And when I heard somebody in Montreal that I knew sent her a hate message, I was like, what's wrong with you? When my friend told me that somebody I-ish knew sent her a message and then that girl actually blocked her, I was like, 1, she actually sees your messages, and 2, like, who are you to go judge somebody and send your hate message? Like, what's going on in your life that you're so mad that you feel the need to go out of your way to take fucking 5 minutes to send a hate message.
It's insane.
Like, I actually don't think it's people that we know that do this shit. But then I go, wow, like, it's not only the people who hide behind, like, screens. It's actually, like, people do this.
It's insane.
It's disgusting.
I think it's so far away because I'm just somebody that would never, I don't think I've ever sent a hate message in my life. So I think it's like, oh, only losers do that. But then I
sent a couple to my boyfriend for sure. Cheers, babe. Love you.
I see like I find out about other people doing it or people doing shit. I'm like, wow, that's fucked up that you would go out of your way. And like, I can't explain. Like, I see everybody as a person. And even if I don't agree with something you did or something like that, it's like, I can't understand. And maybe it's because I've always been kind of in like entertainment and like that kind of stuff, content, whatever it may be. I think I understand it better, or like working in social media, I understand that it's not real, but some people don't. I'm like,
crazy.
How do you not realize that you are only seeing what they're choosing to show you? Like, what makes your opinion so valid that you have to go and tell them how you feel and how you don't respect them or this and that?
Bullying is like not okay.
It's disgusting. I think there's so much hate going on in the world right now, and I think it's disgusting. I think, for example, like the thing that makes me the most sad right now is I'm sure you guys know Charli D'Amelio. She's like a really famous TikToker. Yeah. She's like one of the first like huge TikTokers. And she's young. She's like 16, okay? And the internet hates her for everything that she does.
Isn't she like under 18?
Yeah, she's like 16. On all other videos, okay? Like random other videos, there's people writing more talented than Charli. Charli could never do this. This. I'm like, what? Like, what is going so wrong in your life that you're commenting on other people's videos about this poor girl? Yeah. Like, she made videos. She didn't ask to get 1 million followers. You guys are the fucking 60 million followers that follow her. And you're the ones like, I'm like, I can't imagine being a 16-year-old with the whole internet hating you for no reason.
I think the older we get, the more we understand. But you're never, ever really prepared for something like that. And I think when you're so young, it could almost like fuck with who you are. Kendall Jenner was in the spotlight, so she becomes a model. Do you know all the other models that are trying to be models? Like, you're just lucky because you're a celebrity. And it's like, okay, how will you get there? Focus on yourself. Do you? Like, it's crazy.
You can never make everybody happy. It is jealousy.
Yeah. And Kendall Jenner put out this one statement because somebody was like, she posted this beautiful picture of herself and somebody was like, I have 99 problems and being Kendall Jenner would fix all of them. And she answered it saying, trust me, like everybody's beautiful and also like it's not true. I deal with my own shtick or like I have my thing. And it's like, people really don't see behind the camera. Like she could be dealing with so much shit and it's like people just think she has this beautiful life because she posted a beautiful picture. It's like I posted pictures where I looked amazing and I was fucking dealing with a billion things, you know? So you just never know.
I just think that people should be nicer and people should be more like realizing of the impact of their comments. And like, I just I never understood having to bring people down. Like, I'm not saying you have to think of everybody so highly. You could hate whoever you want to hate, but keep that shit to yourself. Yeah. Like, it's not their problem if you hate them. It's not their problem if you think they're ugly or you think they're untalented. Yeah. Like, other people think they're talented. So, if you're one of those people, unsubscribe. We could lose a subscriber or two because fuck you.
Or if you didn't really look at it that way and learn something from this experience,
then you could stay.
Which is the more mature thing to say, Veronica. Yeah. But
well, that's how like it is. But like, guys, all in all, just like everybody's equal, everybody's human. Like, don't be a fucking asshole. I'm acting like I'm Tory Lanez, and he needs the autograph from me.
Anyways, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this week's episode. We kind of just spoke from the heart, so. Spoke from the heart and twerked from the heart.
Same shit.
Bye, guys.
Bye.